Oh man, I don't even know where to start. Your channel is awesome. Love it. I love just listening to you to speak. The only real complaint that I made again is just the whole is when the your wife ends up making a lot of every 5 seconds. That's the only part the only complaint that I have, honestly. But everything else is good. Everything else is really good. Very well done. Very thoughtful for both of you. So, yeah, just a lot to be thankful for. Topics and approaches of these topics, the points that are made, very thoughtful, very insightful. And the real regret that I have is I can't hit up the same topics the same way as you. I just can't do it. I've tried. That being said, learning how to be thoughtful, learning how to approach these topics in a way that, not trying to copy you, no, but having peace about some of these topics and just letting it go, not worrying, not stressing over it, is something that I need to improve upon in my own life. That is going to be hard just because I struggle with depression and PTSD every day, every week. It really depends. I don't know if you know what it's like being triggered, but that's fine. Maybe you don't, and if you don't stress over it, don't worry about it. It's just one of those additional things that we have to deal with. We who are veterans who've been deployed. Also, those in the military as well. Sorry, those in the those who are police officers and all them, they're gonna have to deal with some of that as well. All right. So when you're talking about community branching out, there's a couple things that I wanted to talk about there, because Telegram used to be safe up until, I want to say, a couple weeks ago when the founder got arrested, and we expect a lot of changes to happen. So security will be compromised at some point where there will be back doors. So you could be whoever you want to be, and you'd be safe, not having to worry and be concerned about whether or not your information would be leaked. That being said, if you're foolish or you post something that you didn't mean to post, or that you did so because you weren't thinking clearly due to being, drinking alcohol or whatever, and someone takes a screenshot of it, yeah, that's going to be there. As it is, Telegram is the safest place to communicate on, from what I've found. There's a lot of room for managing your groups. I mean, I have my own Christian group as well there, and I've been on there for years now at this point. I managed my own Christian group with help of others for roughly around 2 years. And the type of a community that you are looking to build up is the same kind that I've been working on. So if you're looking for more in the sense of in trying to engage others, that may be a platform worth considering. Second, Patreon and other platforms where money's involved, that would be more than just simply let's have a discussion and sit down and communicate with one another. That's like you have something that would be like a service or a product, or something along the lines of that. Patreon could be used to support others as well, and there would be different tiers set up in that regards. So Patreon could work. Yeah. Let me see here. I want to say that when you were talking about branching out and talking about communities, there's been something that's been on the back of my mind as well. And that is possibly branching out to the adult community. I've been thinking about that for quite some time. It's been on the back of my mind, and there's a way to do it, but I want to make sure that I can cover everything, the pros, the cons, and make sure that I'm not doing this by myself. I am currently talking to one of my friends about this to see what possibilities there are and how this could work to succeed. Because if I'm going down this route, I need to be 100% certain. Now, most other people are like, why? Why would you do that? You're basically setting yourself up to fail. Christians shouldn't be in these environments. And for the most part, they're right. However, I want to specify and say that this would be online. This wouldn't be like going to preach in front of strip clubs or something like that. No. This isn't exactly a ministry either. But the idea is to go between the adult community as well as the church and anywhere else. But the online aspect is very unique. How much I can move forward depends on how much I've been able to process and the boundaries that I put in place, because I need to make sure that I limit a lot from there so that very little of that can come into my own life. Or should I say any more of that? I think the worst addiction that I've struggled with is the one that's common to most men with women, specifically with the PORN. I don't want to spell it out because of algorithm issues. Like, I don't like YouTube. That is something I've only been half successful with. I've been unable to fully kick it from my life. I want to say I hear my father when he says that is something to consider, because that is going to affect how I'm able to interact with others and whether or not there is any chance of success in that area. And I'm rephrasing what he said. This goes beyond the whole Jesus hung out with sinners and we should be like him, because we are not him, and frankly we do not have the same abilities, we don't have the same knowledge, we don't have the same access that he has. So in short, it's a good goal to aim for those who care. And there's a lot of time, there's a lot of focus, a lot of attention that I've spent on the adult community for different reasons that really matter to me, that they speak out to me. But in some ways, I'm just simply not set up for that. It's disheartening, because there's a lot that I care about. The younger struggling men and the people who are in these communities. Some of it is just because of my experience through my first deployment with the adult community there. So, yeah. I think that'll always have an impact on me, but that shouldn't really be the deciding factor of like, yeah, okay, let's go do this. No. Because there's a couple things that are made clear. Yeah. Anyway, that's something that I've been thinking about for a hot minute now, because it's something that's been put on my plate that I found out that I care about. I do want to say, though, that part of why I care is out of frustration and irritation at how so many people have handled this. The church and those who are in charge, because what they care about are two different things. The church cares about not getting its hands dirty and subsequently fails to help others out who are stuck there. Two, well, the image of the people there who are trying to help out, that comes to mind as well. People who have an image to maintain that they care about are not going to get their hands dirty. They're not going to take the time. They're not going to invest. They're not going to care. They're going to send someone else to do the dirty work. And when I say dirty work, I mean like the counseling, the therapy, yeah, that. So the other part is, it's just irritation on those who are a part of the adult industry at the top, more or less, the producers and all that, because all they care about is money. They don't really care about the people. That's what I've heard anyway. I'm not actually in it. I would be someone on the outside. Probably a liaison would be the best description there. Someone on the outside going in between the two. You know, here's stuff from the Bible and here's stuff from the adult community, and this matters. I did a short not too long ago talking about Sterling Cooper and like pointing out some of the things that are like, hello, this is important. Why isn't the church covering this stuff? You claim to care about others, especially men, with some of these issues, like with the adult content. I mean, the adult content is primarily aimed towards men, for men, produced by men, obviously with the help of women, because, you know, like, women and men, a mix and match, like, perfect in some ways, especially when you get money involved, and you got people who are like, yeah, we'll do whatever for money. Oh my word. Came across a couple of videos and shorts. I mean, Men of Legion, other people, Better Bachelor, they covered the whole, like, well, this woman slept with 100 guys in one night. And so many people are like, what is she doing? Myself included. We don't exactly have pity for her for doing that, but we do understand and have pity on the fact that, you know, there are consequences to that she now sees. Now she has to deal with. Probably still dealing with some of leftover as well. You can't expect to put yourself in a position like that and not have consequences and not have emotional attachment issues. Man. And somewhere, something along the way, something broke. Guaranteed. Why? Because it's happened to literally everyone else who's done any sort of marathon, sleeping with X amount of guys. Man, there's a lot to say about that. Anyway, I want to say props to the fact that you want to talk about setting up a community of your own, because that's kind of how I feel. A community, and maybe even a home. But the idea there isn't like, I want to be in charge. This isn't a power trip. This is the fact that for someone like me who's different by a lot of standards, special, unique, different, whatever you want to call it, the idea there is to set something up outside the church for those who care about Scripture, Jesus, fellowship, who don't want to be stuck within a structure like the church. You know, censorship. You have to look a certain way. You have to dress a certain way. You have to be a certain way. These are tough calls, and everyone, at some point, everyone has to develop their own world, or they're going to end up in someone else's world. And this is not a bad thing, but it's something to point out in case, hey, you want to develop your life, you want to develop your community, you want to develop your family, you're going to have to take steps to do that. Obviously, for something like a family, you have to be moving along with someone else. And you two are married, and you seem very happy. So and you've been around each other for years, probably. That's my guess. I have not been able to talk to you. I have not been able to have any sort of conversation with you as I had wanted, and that's fine. Maybe you just don't care. Maybe you're too busy. Maybe you sense something different and off, which I kind of mentioned there. You know, the adult community will always be a part of my life in some way, shape, or form. God has a sense of humor, but in this particular case, I feel like, I mean, I'm a bit of a smarty pants. I'm not going to say the full term there. YouTube probably doesn't like it. But I feel like in this particular way, God just really out-cheesed me, so to speak. They just like, kind of like, I'm going to one-up you. Yeah. And that's fine. I appreciate the humor. I really do. I'm thankful for what God has done, and in some ways it helps keep me humble. However, I am very thankful to be here, and I'm thankful to fit into a couple different spots, because if God had intervened every single time there was an issue that popped up, every time something bad popped up, I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be where I'm at, and I wouldn't be who I am. I would not have overcome what I've been able to either. More importantly, if I would have gotten what I wanted with, you know, getting married, having a family, kids, a job, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be doing this. And I do have a certain passion for doing this sort of thing, because I love doing this, and it's fun, it's enjoyable, and I can pass on to others really good stuff. It's not always, you know, from me to others. Like, sometimes it'll be like, well, this is from my dad, and like, holy jeez. He's the kind of father everyone wished they would have. Or nearly everyone. Very knowledgeable, very smart, very intelligent. And unless I slip up somewhere, he has requested to be offline, kept offline. So, like, Unless I slip up somewhere, you're going to be hard-pressed to find him. I actually have taken steps to change my middle name online, as far as that goes. I have a common first and last name, but the middle name is actually changed for a lot of reasons. Protection is one of them. I have a fascination with trainer as well, by the way. Trainer is really good for a lot of reasons. And no, it's not representation of gym trainer. Trainer is... I'll probably go into that later if I ever do. I don't feel obligated to explain that. But I want to say that there's passion there. Because I want to help other people. I want to see people go farther, do better, that sort of thing. We can obviously make more money. I don't really have much of a challenge there. I mean, outside of like college courses and all that, and what you need to do to take more experience. So in that sense, you can always make more money. I think that's about it. I think hit up everything that I wanted to say as far as that goes. Probably a couple of smaller parts here and there, but like this was like your best video that you've ever done, and I'm really thankful for it. It's just awesome. I would love to sit down and talk with you and your wife if at all possible. There's a lot there, and to be honest, sitting down listening to you, I want to say I've learned a lot. It's been very thought-provoking. You may not be as polarizing as me, but that's actually a good thing, because to a degree, you're going for something different, which is very much appreciated. Me, I would like to say the critiquing, analyzing part, the polarizing part is the whole idea of getting people involved in a conversation. Not a debate, because this isn't about right or wrong or who's doing worse or who's doing better. This is not anything like that. Debate is more, it also takes away from a conversation where it feels like two people are against each other rather than being on the same side. And on top of that, I don't really want to deal with any more stress, and I don't want to deal with any more, like, I feel like you're an opponent, I feel like I have to respond, I feel like you're not going to understand. I don't want to deal with any of that. It's not fun, it's not encouraging, it's not positive, and frankly, it adds to other issues that I already am struggling with, mainly depression. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. Really love the stuff that you put out. It's just awesome. All right, take it easy.